So, when I grew up, when I was born and raised in North Philadelphia, actually in a neighborhood called Swamp Poodle. As awful as that sounds, it's like swamp and poodle. It's like a dirty dog. It sounds awful, for the name of a neighborhood. But that's the neighborhood that I was born in. I was born in a neighborhood. I was raised there for a while. And I thought as a kid that I lived in the best country in the world. For me, I thought, wow, this is as good as it gets. I used to remember watching television and, these commercials, and they show you that all this poverty in other countries, like, Southeastern Asian countries, and African countries, as well as Latin American countries. And for me, I guess not only for me, but for you as well, I always thought that, well, African people are poor, Southeast Asian people are poor, Latin American people are poor. So I'm in the best country in the world. Of course, I didn't have, I wasn't, as a child, we all are naive. We don't know a lot. We're not very educated, So that's what I initially thought. Moving forward, going to middle school, going to high school, I still had that same belief. And you know why? Because, my education, in a sense, was limited. And my focus at that time, like any other teenager, is, evolving their identity, trying to be the cool person in high school, or at least just being comfortable with your evolving identity or discovering yourself in high school. So at that time, I had aspirations to be a rapper and then a basketball player, and I think that's a lot of specifically even ethnic minorities. That's when they're that young, they typically aspire to those things. There's nothing wrong with that, And then we have our parents, or friends of family or friends, always telling us that, before we become an adult, they tell us that we can do absolutely anything we want to do. If we put our mind to it, we can do anything. Okay. And we believe that, as teenagers, we believe that we can be anything, Unfortunately, as we become adults, we realize that that's not exactly the whole picture. Okay. So when I graduated from high school, I went to university and all of that. And, I graduated, but unfortunately, what the university tells you how much you're going to make and what you actually make in the real world is always different. Most of the time, it's typically different. Maybe if you go to maybe an Ivy League school, maybe you'll make that amount of money, but it's not necessarily because that's what the workforce pays. It's because of the network that you make in these prestigious universities.